I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Natasha Nurse. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent as can be. Great pleasure to connect with you. What part of the world are you in right now?
New York.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
I guess just social media. You've connected with me on LinkedIn.
Oh, well, that is not your talent. That is LinkedIn's talent. What is your talent?
Gotcha. Okay. I think probably, I guess, the podcast Woken Free that I co-host with my husband.
There we go. Tell us more about your podcast. Most definitely that was it.
Yeah, so we have been together since we were freshmen in college at Penn State, and we have always had like really dynamic and very rich conversations, and we wanted to take it to the forefront because I do a lot in kind of the public space as a editor, as a public speaker, as an entrepreneur, and I wanted to do a new venture with my husband in the podcast arena because, as you know, right, podcasts and radio has been on the rise, and it's more explosive. I would say more so now more than ever. And the podcast is all about just being very honest with each other as a married couple, as well as taking ideas and thoughts that it's kind of on all people's minds and bringing it to a very cool, safe place to have a conversation. So we talk about everything from technology to relationship stuff, like what married people go through, our thoughts on media, fashion, controversy, and also just kind of like the whole term woke and free is all about just like being honest, right? Like being really honest. When we talk about things in media, do we even know what it means? What are our real opinions on it? And really, what are the sources backing up our opinions? Because I think some of the issues with having such prolific social media for everyone to kind of tap into is that I think that people don't take the time to really educate themselves on subjects. And Woken Free is all about giving you the information you need, as well as the kind of insight that we bring to the conversation.
Where did you learn the skill of being a visionary from?
Thank you for saying that. I would say that my vision and my creativity really is a culmination of how I was raised. Both my parents are from Jamaica, and I know you're Caribbean.
Caribbean and the house, man. Boom, love it.
Yeah. So I was raised with a very strict household of education was everything. I've been exposed to college textbooks since the age of 6 because my mom was going for early childhood education and needed support. So thankfully, I've kind of tapped into understanding, learning and processing and organization from a very early age. And I guess just like when I'm also a lawyer by trade. So when I went to law school, it really helped kind of fine tune some of the skill sets that I already have and make me more analytical and an even better public speaker and a better communicator. So I guess it's just the culmination of your life. You go through all these different experiences in your work, in your personal relationships. And if you're smart enough, you take the time to really reflect along the way what's going on, and you start to see the new trends, the new way that your world is going and how you want to think. And being creative and innovative is definitely a pinnacle of who I want to be in this world. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's very clear. So your husband, again, how has he been interacting with the podcast? Is he having fun with it?
Yeah, I think that Kahlil is he's electrical engineer, and so that's what he does during the day. And I think that for him, he, like myself, we never want to be boxed in, right? I think a lot of people, and he comes from Caribbean roots as well, on his dad's side, Guyana representing,
Sweet.
and yeah, and it's so much of growing up, right? Your parents tell you go to school and you pick a career, right? You become a doctor, you become a lawyer, you become a teacher. But as you know, nothing about humanity is one-sided, that we're all multi-faceted creatures, and that we have passions outside of what our job is, right? And even having the ability to craft and create what you want your job to be. So he's been a strong supporter of me as an entrepreneur, and has his own goals and intentions of entering the space. So I think the podcast is just another opportunity for him to get his feet wet in being more public and being expressive about who he is and what his thoughts are on things. But yeah, we definitely have a blast together. Just like I love, after we make our episodes, even just to like listen to them and just like hear each other out, because we begin the episode with a personal share. So something that's important to us, so that we can share it with each other, but also share with the world. Because what I had found, which was really funny in my personal and professional life, when speaking to people, they, I can always ask someone something about their partner, their romantic partner, that they don't know. And I thought that was really weird, right? Like, why don't you know who you're married to? That's kind of creepy. So it's important to share with your partner and with people you love, right? Loving someone means knowing someone. And I'm a strong believer in that. And we practice that in our marriage.
That's amazing. Well, Kahlil, I do wish you all the best. You have a fireball for a wife. So hang on and hang on tight. How does all of this make you feel, just seeing it unfold as you envisioned?
It's exciting, and it's also nerve-wracking, right? Because as you said, right, like I like to do a lot, and I'm opinionated. So I think for me, I'm just always looking to be a lifelong learner and grow in how I present things on social media, how I can be a better storyteller, and how I can, be a better voice or activist in this space, because radio is a medium in and of itself. So you need to learn your craft and as you master your craft. So I'm just excited to be able to speak on things that's important to us, to the world, but also being able to have that touchstone with our community and our fans, and making sure that they feel like we're addressing what they want to talk about. So we really encourage that kind of open communication. So when we say hit us up on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, we mean it. We really want to make sure that we're touching what's important for everyone.
Amazing audience, you're hearing it live here from Natasha Nurse. Again, she is the co-host of Woken Free Podcast. Do check that out. Pretty amazing conversations going on there. Natasha, let's switch gears for a moment now. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Natasha, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Ooh, I would say my earliest childhood memory has been when I was like 6 years old. And I remember like cooking with my dad and like listening to music with him. My dad, I'm a big daddy's girl. So like I guess my earliest memory would just be like just being just head over heels with my dad.
Wow. So how old were you in that memory when you were cooking with him?
I was 6. He was teaching me how to make rice.
Oh, really? Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Because I think that I really was surprised that he felt so confident with me to be able to like be near the stove at such a young age, right? So many kids, even I speak to like preteens, and they don't know how to cook anything for themselves. And my dad has always trusted me to be like a little like independent person. I even remember when he used to speak with me, he never spoke to me like how parents I see say like, ooh, gaga. Like he was always like, do you want your juice? Why do you want to do this? Introduce yourself. Like he talked to me like I was a little adult. Yeah. So I think the rice cooking was memorable because it was like scary because fire is like scary, but he was like, no, you control this. You need to be able to feed yourself and nourish yourself. And that, that type of skill and that type of trust was very meaningful to me.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
It's the foundation of who I am, right? That if I want to know something, I don't sit here and say, oh, I don't know the answer. I'm going to go out and get it. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to nourish, to take care of myself and the ones that I love and care for. So independence is like, if I were to have a tattoo on my head, would be one of the words that would be present, because I don't believe in only looking to like, no one will save you. You have to be your own savior, and you have to be your own advocate. So I think that led me to law school, that led me to being a very forceful kind of person in this world. And I will never accept, like no, or someone not, making sure that if I want to get something done, I'm going to do it. There are no if, buts. That's just it.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's my beautiful Trinidadian accent. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes.
I love the idea that your father is expressing to you the value of combination. And as well, if you look deeper, you can see that there's a variation included. The variation is there's a pot, there's fire, there's a stove, and of course there's rice. To see the individual understand that, hey, it's a connection of things that make one thing occur, which is the rice, right? Which is the cooked rice, which is nutrition, is so much similar to what happens in a marriage or in a family. To see and understand that your husband isn't the driver, possibly that you are, but to understand that he may be in the metaphorical picture, the pot, right? And as you go on and go deeper, you can just see the other aspects. So I love the idea of the connection of the visionary and understanding what are the tools necessary to fulfill your vision.
Absolutely. Awesome. I love it.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Ooh, 12. Oh gosh, what year was that? Okay, so 12, that was like 7th grade, right? Oh, you know what song I really loved? I really loved the Mo Money, Mo Problems song with Biggie and P. Diddy, and because I just thought that like everyone just thought it was like a fun hip hop song, but to be honest, if you think about it, people forget that that you have different issues depending upon what stage you are in your life. And I always felt like, poverty sucks, but so does being super rich or rich, because it's another host of issues and people can't even conceptualize it unless they're in it with you.
Yeah, I love it. Just to connect the dots again, it's really fascinating, right? Like you have husband and wife, right? It's similar, right? Just like more money, more problems, right? Just the same, right?
Absolutely.
There's the two things that are happening there, counterbalance. Love it. All right, Natasha, well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Natasha?
Yes.
Natasha, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Does TV include movies?
Yes.
If so, yes.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, more than 8.
If you had to share with us, Natasha, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Natasha Nurse, what would you say that is?
A unique statement? She is an unapologetic force of nature who is destined for innovation, motivation, education, and just enjoyment 24/7.
I love it. Natasha, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, so if anyone wants to get in touch with me, feel free to just go to my website, for the podcast, wokenfree.com. And please, like I said, we want to share what we think with everyone, but we want to hear from everyone. So please come on board and share your thoughts as much and as frequently as possible.
I love it. Natasha Nurse, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.